Hair Systems. Call 897-1727.
Buy a GE refrigerator with ice maker provisions and get an $80 ice maker for just half price during Robert's second anniversary sale, I-85 at Jimmy Carter Boulevard.
5U's seen Superstar Sports, winner of the prestigious Sigma Delta Chi Award for Best Sports Program. Super Night at the Sugar Bowl.
I'm Bill Hartman, along with the...
No matter what the game is called, you'll get more than just scores. You'll get award winners who tell it all. 5U's seen Superstar Sports at 6 and 11. This is CBS.
Where did you get that coat?
Onion sauce menswear.
Where did you get those jazz rags?
Onion sauce menswear.
Where can you capture the newest look, baby?
Onion sauce menswear.
I get all my clothes at Ernie and Son.
Ernie & Sons would like to take this moment to express their sympathy and deepest regret to the families of Atlanta's missing and murdered children. Let's all join together to help.
If you've not yet discovered the excitement of decorating your home with fabrics from Calico Corners, you're in for a wonderful surprise. Because Calico Corners is a very special store with more than 1,000 designer fabrics in stock to color and coordinate with your furniture, your windows, your bed, your walls, all at about half the designer price. You'll wonder how you decorated without us. Calico Corners. There's a store near you.
My husband gave me a new diamond ring for my birthday, so I traded in the old one to Treasure Hut for over $300. Thank you, Treasure Hut.
My husband gave me a new diamond ring for my birthday, so I cashed in my old diamond for $500 at Treasure Hut in the West End Mall.
I didn't know my silver flatware was worth so much. $1,100 for service for 4. Thank you, Treasure Hut.
Call 377-RING for the Treasure Hut location nearest you in Atlanta.
WAGA-TV, Atlanta.
The following program is pre-recorded.
Released a sketch of a man they want to talk to in connection with the disappearance of 22-year-old Larry Rogers. And federal authorities are holding a 22-year-old man who allegedly threatened to kill the president.
And officials are trying to find out who planted 3 bombs inside an Atlanta grocery store. The full story is next on News Scene tonight.
This is 5 News Scene tonight. Forrest Sawyer and Pam Martin anchor the News Scene team. Bill Hartman with Superstar Sports. And meteorologist Ken Cook with Color Radar Weather.
Good evening. Atlanta police have released a sketch of a man they want to question in connection with the Larry Rogers case. Rogers is now on the task force list. He's a 22-year-old retarded man who disappeared from his Northwest Atlanta home on March 30th. And a witness told police that a man who looks like this was driving a car that Rogers got into that Monday. Tonight, Public Safety Commissioner Lee Brown told News Scene's Richard Belcher that the man is not a suspect. Police just want to talk to him.
This person who gave you the information that led to the sketch, he or she knew Rogers absolutely, would pick him out easily.
That is correct. There's no doubt about his knowing Rogers, and therefore we do have that as valid information that we know.
The man police are looking for is black. He's 50 to 55 years old with long gray and black hair, with heavy eyebrows and a heavy mustache and a light brown complexion. The witness also told police that the man was driving a 1966 faded green Chevrolet 4-door station wagon. And the partial auto tag is R blank blank 5 blank blank. Police also say that Rogers may have been seen as late as this past weekend. 2 witnesses say they saw the young man playing basketball at Glen Emerald Park in southeast Atlanta Sunday afternoon. The witnesses reportedly identified Rogers from a photographic lineup at police headquarters. Police say the information they received is credible.
Federal authorities are holding a man accused of plotting to shoot President Reagan. 22-year-old Edward Richardson, that is, was picked up in New York, armed with a loaded .32 caliber revolver. Now, there are some striking similarities between this case and that of John Hinckley, the man accused of shooting the president last week. Richardson reportedly wrote a letter threatening to kill Reagan and, quote, bring to completion Hinckley's reality. He is also said to be infatuated with actress Jodie Foster, as is Hinckley. And Richardson once lived about 20 miles from Hinckley's family in Colorado. Authorities refuse to comment on any possible link between the two men. And just a few minutes ago, we received a late report that Richardson allegedly had targeted two men as secondary targets, North Carolina Senator Jesse Helms and Secretary of State Alexander Haig. The man accused of shooting John Lennon once lived here in suburban DeKalb County. New York authorities working on the case are coming to Atlanta to interview people who once knew Mark David Chapman and may have seen him when he came here in November. Chapman is a graduate of DeKalb County's Columbia High School. He first moved to the Atlanta area back in 1962. The investigators will arrive here tomorrow. Chapman's trial is expected to begin this spring. A City of Atlanta corrections officer is in Grady Hospital tonight with 3 gunshot wounds, and another corrections officer has been arrested and charged with that shooting. The incident happened tonight around 8:30 at the city's training center on Key Road in South DeKalb County. Reportedly, Officer Gary Magsby got into an argument with Officer Ricky Cameron. Police say that Magsby shot Cameron during the argument. Cameron was taken to Grady Hospital, his condition not yet released. Magsby was arrested by DeKalb County Police and charged with aggravated assault.
Atlanta police and federal agents are still trying to find out tonight why someone put 3 bombs in an Atlanta grocery store this morning. 5 News Scene's John Weatherford says the drama began when the store owner first opened his business this morning.
The bomb unit, city police, fire, and rescue units jammed the 600 block of Boulevard in northeast Atlanta around 10 o'clock this morning. As police and safety officials worked to clear the store, owner Charles McMichael told me what he saw as he entered the store about 9:30 this morning.
There was a big can of gasoline sitting there in the hallway, so I went to check it out. And there were some wires running from it going to some other kind of chemical.
McMichael later said he had a theory as to who may have set the bombs, but he wouldn't talk about it. Sergeant William Briley was the first man to go in to disarm the bombs. He said the combination of devices appeared to be the work of someone who knew something about explosives.
There's 3 of them, and they were all set the same way. Plus, there was the gas lines inside the building had been tampered with, and there's a good bit of gas inside. It would have destroyed the building. You know, he was using electricity as a element to set off an explosion, which amateurs generally do not do.
More than 4 hours after police first received the call, after a lengthy investigation, Atlanta police turned over the materials to federal authorities for analysis and investigation. As the police and federal alcohol, tobacco, and firearms agents removed the explosive devices, they still had a variety of questions yet to answer. One source said they hope to have more on a motive sometime tomorrow. John Weatherford, 5 News Scene Tonight.
Washington has some good news for MARTA tonight, and Governor Busby signs that controversial credit card bill.
And a Clayton County teacher who was fired last night now says she may never have been cut out to be a school teacher.
Come save with us.
This week at Food Giant, the meat specialists offer you U.S. choice boneless chuck roast, corn-fed Western beef, just $1.37 a pound. Florida strawberries, extra large and sweet, 59 cents a pint at Food Giant. Heinz ketchup, 32-ounce size, 89 cents. Plus, remember, Food Giant's anytime low prices. Not weekly specials, but thousands of items sale-priced any day, any week. Come save with us at Food Giant now.
Why buy a machine that does only one job, like a mulching mower? I recommend Snapper. You get all the advantages of a standard mower, and with this inexpensive mulcherizer, you can chew up cuttings so fine they become lawn food. When grass is too tall or moist for mulching, remove the mulcherizer and use your Snapper in a conventional way. Before you buy a mower, compare the versatility, quality, and performance of a Snapper.
See Chadwick Hardware, Highway 140 in Woodstock, and Pruitt's TV and Appliances, North Main Street, Alpharetta.
Well, Nancy, just pick up the phone and call him. Say what I say. Doug, it's Jennifer. Busy? Well, how about coming over for a drink? Look, Nan, a few years ago, it wasn't considered respectable for a woman to ask a man over for a drink. But I figure when I'm serving Harvey's Bristol Cream, it's more than just respectable. It's downright upright. Nancy, I've got to go.
Harvey's Bristol Cream.
Welcome to British Caledonian Airways.
You have hot salsa?
Welcome to British Caledonian's Executive Suite. A special place with a special class of service designed exclusively for the business traveler. What about next year? The Executive Suite makes getting down to business a pleasure.
British Caledonian Airways.
Make another computer run.
British Caledonian to London and over 40 destinations worldwide.
Sharon Burns, that Clayton County school teacher fired from her job last night, is now mulling over her future. She says she was surprised to be fired with so little time left in the school year. But she told 5's Jim Kay tonight that the Clayton County School Board just rushed a decision that she'd already made for herself.
Those controversial posters that Sharon Burns' students turned out, which led to her firing last night by the Clayton County School Board, apparently were the straws that broke the camel's back for both of them. She says that from the beginning, she and high school administrators never saw eye to eye. She claims that the school principal did not like the way she dressed, too close to what the students wore, she says, and she says she was too close to the kids to suit the administration.
To relate to the students as human beings first. I mean, I think that is the essence of being a good teacher, is taking their feelings and thoughts into account as human beings, that they're not inferior because they're students, which is the whole atmosphere behind public education.
She says she censored the posters before they were put up, has regrets about one of them, but she says the students wrote them and could relate to them.
Well, the one at the hearing last night that the principal said was the most objectionable one was, it said, "Get the facts before the facts get you." And it had pictures of babies at the bottom, and then after where it says "Get the facts," it had, she had cut out words from magazines like "The most amazing breakthrough," "One is right for you," and then she had mentioned different types of contraception. So it was "Get the facts" with different types of contraception before the facts get you with pictures of babies.
Ms. Burns said she had planned before last night not to return to Clayton County next year, and that her principal knew that. She says she can't understand the harsh action in firing her. She says she's dedicated to teaching, but probably not in a public school. She hasn't made up her mind yet about whether or not to appeal the school board's final action. Jim Kay, 5 News Scene.
Georgia Power is getting ready to go back to the Public Service Commission for a rate increase. It's been more than 2 years since the company filed for an increase. Georgia Power says with the annual inflation rate of 10 to 12%, it needs more money. There's good economic news for MARTA tonight. Senator Mac Mattingly says he's been assured by Transportation Secretary Drew Lewis that MARTA's rapid rail system will be fully funded for the next 2 fiscal years. That despite the big cuts planned for mass transit systems in a number of other cities around the country. Under the plan, MARTA would get $40 million for fiscal 81, nearly $41 million for fiscal 82. But funding for a lot of other programs is still in doubt. President Reagan's huge budget cuts sailed through the Republican-controlled Congress, but today it was a different story in the House Budget Committee, where the Democrats are still in the majority. The committee scrapped Reagan's plan and substituted its own, which calls for less defense spending and more for social programs. And the debate included something of a role reversal, with the Democrats saying that the Reagan plan would lead to a big deficit, while their plan would reduce it.
When Ronald Reagan was running, it was his full position, and the American people believed him, that he'd balance the budget. And I doubt very seriously, very many of them thought that he was going to have a $50 billion deficit this year.
I admit things are different, but I frankly think what is really different is that our party is now trying to talk about a positive application of economic growth as opposed to worshiping at the shrine of a balanced budget.
The Republicans are disputing the Democratic figures. Vice President Bush says the administration is prepared for battles in the House, and he says that Democratic plan is unacceptable.
Well, Governor Busby today signed into law that controversial bill that will allow banks to charge credit card customers a service fee of up to $12 a year and effective immediately. He also signed bills extending higher interest rates for finance company loans, small bank loans, and dealer-financed car loans. DeKalb County resident Steve Bethel is most certainly watching his bank withdrawal slips more carefully now. A few weeks ago, he unknowingly handed one to a bank clerk that someone had written on the back, "This is a stick-up. Give me all your money." Now, as you might imagine, the teller asked him about it. He denied knowing anything about it. He filled out another slip and left with his money. Once outside, a police officer arrested him, and he spent the night in jail. Authorities eventually dropped all the charges in the mix-up.
Just trying to get some money, huh? Ken, what about the weather?
Well, the weather is great, and we'll tell you all about it as we go into the middle of the week. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Attention, please. Will the owner of the blue Mercedes, license number... please come to the parking lot. Your car has been in a minor accident.
If you're looking for a European luxury sedan that offers the amenities a person of means expects, but you don't want to follow the crowd, consider a Volvo. It's not outrageously priced, and it's not for people who are looking for status. Volvo's a car for people who already have it.
Well, the West Coast has the sunshine, everyone so tan and trim. When it comes to diet soda, they're sipping California Slim. Diet Sunkist.
New Diet Sunkist Orange Soda. A bright, bubbly taste from Sunkist. Slim, trim, and sugar-free.
I wish you all could be California Slim. Diet Sunkist, Diet Sunkist.
One of these days, you're going to come to Unclaimed Freight, because for $299, you can select from 9 sofa styles with 30 fabric designs to choose from, and get matching love seats, chairs, and sleepers. Now, not only will you love your living room, you'll get it right away. One of these days, you'll get your living room from Unclaimed Freight, Atlanta's name brand home center.
Bill Green is about to remember he can't remember where he left his Foster Grants.
Foster Grants. Foster Grants.
Fortunately, right now, Eckerd's $16 Foster Grants with sun sensor lenses are half the regular price.
Just $8?
Sun sensor lenses get darker when the sun gets brighter, so get 2 pairs of Foster Grants for the price of 1, a pair to wear and a pair to spare.
Thanks.
Bill, your Foster Grants. You're gonna like Eckerd, we're gonna make sure.
5 News Scene Weather with Ken Cook has the seal of approval of the American Meteorological Society.
When I was outside tonight, a little bit of rain.
Well, you know, Pam, I didn't see it, so I'm going to say officially it didn't happen.
Oh, you are.
It did happen. You know, those clouds we were talking about this evening drifting in from Alabama apparently had a little bit of light sprinkle activity. That has since ceased. Today in Atlanta was a beautiful spring day. We've got another one coming up tomorrow and a lot more before this week is out. Today's high reached a very pleasant 73 degrees. This morning's low was a fairly mild 48. The day averaged out 3 degrees above normal for this time of year. As you know, no rain in the last 24 hours. Records for the state, 85 degrees occurring back in 1967 and 30 degrees in 1950. At 11 o'clock in Atlanta, our temperature now 60 degrees. Fair skies beginning to thin out once again and southerly winds at 10 miles an hour. Our relative humidity has come up only a bit to 41%, and the barometric pressure is steady at 30 and 25 inches. And taking a look at live color radar now from Atlanta, we're not showing any precipitation within 150 miles of us or so. Earlier this evening, as Pam said, and as we didn't expect, a few light sprinkles fell out of those clouds, and that has now ended. Taking a look at the satellite picture from about an hour ago, we do see some of the high clouds that were invading from the southwest over Texas and portions of Arkansas, and a trailing band, or a leading band, I should say, of those clouds moved across portions of Alabama and Georgia, and you can see now moving into east central Georgia.